Hello everyone, welcome to my splits stretching tutorial. I have been using these tips and tricks since I was a junior in high school, and I have all three of my splits now. So hopefully if you follow along consistently, or as consistently as you can, you will get your splits too. So let us begin. So the first thing I do is to get into a half splits, which is one leg bent and one leg straightened. Your back toe has to be pointed and squared, meaning in one line, aligned with your leg, or else it won't be as effective. Your front foot, it should be pointed or flex. They both work. I alternate between point, flex to get the full stretch. You'll feel it in your inner thigh. Make sure your face is facing your knee, or else you could compromise your neck or not stretch 100%, and that is not good. Now go into a lunge. Make sure your hips are squared for this, and make sure your front leg is not going 90 degrees over your toe. I grab my back leg. You could point or flex for this, but I think flex is more effective. And then into a lunge. Well, a lower lunge. I suggest to, if you want a deeper stretch, to move your arms forward instead of 90 degrees like how I was doing. And now a pigeon pose, which is done in yoga, which is a pose found in yoga. This pose is very interesting because it opens your hips. It actually forces your hips to open. You'll feel a little stretch in your inner thighs as well, which is nice for your splits. And now the other leg. Wow, I really do not know how to point. Anyways, I just squared my hips by twisting my hips one direction. Now I'm flexing. Same process as before. I feel like I should do more than 3 breaths, but 3 breaths should be the minimum because it forces you to stay in one position for a while. But at the same time, if you're in a rush, 3 breaths allow you to feel something without rushing, if you know what I mean. Like, you are at least getting the effect of all this stretching with 3 breaths. But if you have the time, I suggest doing it longer. And longer the better. Pigeon pose again. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm not pointing my front toe. It's fine. I wonder if I'm doing any of these stretches correctly. But like I said before, as I have been doing them for 4 years, something is working. Now, time for butterfly. Make sure your toes are touching each other, because if your legs are outward turned, then your knees and your inner thighs may not be as effectively stretched. Also, if you want, like what I'm doing in this video, put your hands on your knees and push down and lean forward, because you'll feel a deeper stretch. Now, pike time, which is an L where you lean forward. Make sure your knees are not bent and that you're either actively pointing or flexing your foot. And make sure your face, like before, is facing your knee and not looking at your feet, because it's more effective. I feel like I said that word too much. I don't know a better synonym. Okay, now time for middle splits. My middle splits, it's there if I stretch. It's not there if I don't stretch. Lean to one side. Make sure you're pointing for the stretch. And then when you look at your feet, make sure you flex. I look so exhausted in this. If you want a harder stretch, put your head on the floor instead of on your knee. I don't feel the stretch in my legs when I do this stretch, but I do feel it in my rib area, which is nice. Something's happening. I wonder if that's helpful for the splits. And now in the middle, just lean forward. Oh, I think this is called a straddle stretch. I'm not sure actually. Please don't quote me on this. Okay, in my tumbling class, we either go in the froggie pose, which is opening your legs 90 degrees and leaning inwards, but do not lean inwards with your back in cow pose, I think. Do it in, it's the rounded one, where your back is leaning towards the sky, because that's more effective and it pushes your hips lower instead of concaving the other direction, which is not as effective. Okay, now my favorite, which is literally doing nothing. You just open your splits on a wall, push with your hands on your inner thighs. Because I'm not wearing pants and I'm wearing shorts, there's a lot of friction, so I'm always just trying to actively inch towards the ground so gravity could help me stretch better. You could actively point or flex, but I don't do any of those because I'm focusing on stretching on my inner thigh. Usually when I do this, I'm reading a book or something, because this stretch, because gravity is helping, it requires a long time. The most I've ever done this for was 15 minutes, but I'm not going to hold it for 15 minutes for this video because that's just time consuming, I guess. And when you're done, make sure to be gentle with your legs because they will be in pain. So gently lift your legs to the back into a pike position and then roll over. Now I will demonstrate how to get into splits. Go into half splits, either inch forward with your foreleg or inch back with your backwards leg. And make sure your hips are squared. And to do this, just hold your hand to the opposite knee. Point or flex, whatever you want. The point is to get your hips to the ground, both of your hips. Well, your hips and your inner thigh to the ground at the same level. And then for the other side, make sure to do the same thing. As you can tell, my right split is better than the other. I'm trying to square it more and lean back because my back is not straight. It looks like I'm leaning forward a lot. I may have to try to stretch my back as well more. And if you want to make it a challenge, just stack pillows in your front legs and lift it forward. And that will stretch your splits more. Now for the middle splits, you could just go into straddle and push yourself to the wall. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any tips or suggestions, please let me know. Hopefully you get your splits too. Thank you for watching.